Hello students, I Sandeep Sharma welcome all of you in the next chapter of class 12. It is chemical kinetics. In this chapter we will discuss about rate of reaction, different factors which affect rate of reaction, molecularity and order of reaction, Arrhenius concept of activation energy, and collision theory for chemical reaction. These are five main topics. The entire chapter will be around these five topics: rate of reaction, factors affecting rate of reaction, molecularity and order of reaction, Arrhenius concept of activation energy, and the last is collision theory for chemical reaction. Now, what is rate of reaction? You have a basic knowledge in your previous classes, but in this class, you will explore your knowledge about rate of reaction. How can we define rate of reaction? What are the different type of rate of reaction? And how can we calculate rate of a chemical reaction? The next topic will be factors affecting rate of reaction. Now this also you have a little bit idea in lower classes. You know that most of the time when you increase temperature, the rate of reaction increase. When you use catalyst, the rate of reaction increase. When you increase concentration of reactant, the rate of reaction increase. But this year in class 12th, you will further explore your knowledge and you will come to know why the rate of reaction change by these three factors, as well as to what extent the rate of reaction will increase. For example, so far you know when we increase temperature, the rate of reaction increase. But in this chapter you will come to know that if you increase temperature by a certain extent, say for example you increase temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, then how many times the rate of reaction will increase. Similarly, catalyst, when you use catalyst, when you add catalyst in a reaction, then why rate of reaction change and how many times the rate of reaction change. Same goes for concentration of reactant also. If we increase concentration of reactant, that first question is why the rate of reaction change, and second question, how many times the rate of reaction change. So this will be the core part of this chapter, why this factor affect and how much, what is the extent by which the rate of reaction affected by these three important factors. To calculate all these three, we need to use these two terms. One is molecularity of reaction and second is order of reaction. Later on we will explore about molecularity as well as order of reaction. Then two more topics we will discuss later on. One is Arrhenius concept of activation energy, and the last point of the chapter will be collision theory for chemical reaction. So one by one we will discuss all these 5 points in our online classes. Now the first point, rate of reaction. Its symbol is small r. What is meaning of rate of reaction? We represent chemical reaction generally by this symbol R. R means reactant convert into product. Now as soon as reaction start, reactant convert into product, it means reactant continuously consume and product continuously increase, product continuously form. So the concentration of reactant continuously decrease, simultaneously concentration of product continuously increase. This change in concentration of either reactant or product per unit of time is known as rate of reaction. I repeat, change in concentration of reactant or product per unit of time is known as rate of reaction. So reactant continuously decrease, consume, product continuously increase, and their change in concentration per unit of time is known as rate of reaction. Now, this rate of reaction is also known as average rate of reaction because we are going to calculate rate of reaction in between certain time of period. To calculate rate of reaction, you can use formula. It is change in concentration as per our definition divided by change or duration of time. I repeat, it is change in concentration divided by change or duration of time, or you can write R equal to delta X upon delta T. This is with respect to reactant. Delta X upon delta T, this is with respect to product. Now here you can see a difference between the formula for reactant and for product. When we write the expression with respect to reactant, I put a negative sign here. There is a reason for putting the negative sign here. This you will come to know after discussing this one. Delta X means change in concentration. Now change means it is always final minus initial. So when you are calculating delta X, it should be final concentration of reactant minus initial concentration of reactant for this delta X. Now we know that the final concentration of reactant is always less because reactant continuously consume. So final concentration of reactant is less, initial concentration of reactant is more. The subtraction of this will be always a negative number. Because we already used a negative sign, the negative become positive, and therefore we get a positive number for rate of reaction. If you do not put negative sign, then the rate of reaction will be a negative number, which is not possible. The speed cannot be negative, the rate of reaction cannot be a negative. To convert this a positive number, we use always a negative sign when we are using formula with respect to reactant. Now if we are using for product, the same formula delta X, this is with respect to product. Same formula, it is final minus initial. Because product is continuously increasing, the final concentration of product is always more as compared to its initial concentration, and therefore this number is always positive, and therefore you can see here a positive sign for rate of reaction with respect to product. Now here you can ask why we put a negative sign. You can write simply because the concentration of reactant continuously decrease, therefore we need to use a negative sign to show the rate of reaction with respect to reactant. Now this is change in time. It may be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and therefore the rate of reaction is also known as average rate of reaction. Now you know that rate of reaction is directly proportional to concentration of reactant. Now when the reaction is proceeding, the concentration of reactant continuously change. You can see here it continuously decrease. If the concentration of reactant continuously change, it means the rate of reaction also should continuously change on each and every time moment. The rate of reaction must be continuously changed, and therefore we consider this as average rate of reaction because this is not at a particular time but it is in between a particular time, and therefore it is considered as average rate of reaction. Now we have one more type of rate of reaction. It is known as instantaneous rate of reaction. Instantaneous rate of reaction is calculated at a particular time moment. It is once again change in concentration of reactant or product at a particular time moment. Here the formula is given R equal to, once again negative sign is for reactant and positive sign for product. No need to write plus here. This only I mentioned to show the difference. Otherwise it is minus d of R upon dt and R equal to dp upon dt. R for reactant and P for product. Now I hope you remember that this type of delta is used for small change, and here delta T tends to 0. Because the change in time is negligible or zero here, it means this rate of reaction is not between a particular time period, but it is at a particular time moment, and therefore it is known as instantaneous rate of reaction. Now in both rate of reaction, both type of reaction, whether it is average rate or it is instantaneous rate, one thing is common. The formula says it is change in concentration upon change in time, and therefore unit is concentration. The unit of concentration generally molarity, it is mole per liter, and dt, this is time, so it is time. Now here in this chapter there is no standard unit of time. In a numerical you can use the unit of time from second to years, millions, decades, hours, days, week. It means no need to change the unit of time, and we can just write the correct given unit of time. It may be second, it may be minutes, it may be hours. So there is no standard unit to represent rate of reaction, and that's why I mention here time. The concentration, if the solution is, if it is an aqueous solution, then the unit of concentration will be its molarity, mole per liter. If the reactants are gaseous substance, then the concentration of gas, expressed in term of their pressure, and therefore in that condition the unit of rate of reaction may be bar per time, it may be atmosphere per time, or maybe any other possible unit for pressure of gas. So this is unit for both instantaneous as well as average rate of reaction. It is mole per liter per time, or it is pressure, it means bar or atmosphere per time. Now how can we calculate or how can we determine the rate of reaction practically? Now first we are going to discuss for average rate of reaction and followed by instantaneous rate of reaction. To calculate average rate of reaction, I plotted a curve between concentration of reactant and time. For most of the reaction, the concentration of reactant decrease, as we have seen in the previous slide. The concentration of reactant continuously decrease with time, and for most of the reaction we get such type of curve for same. Now remember for one thing that this, in most of the chemical reaction, the concentration of reactant never get zero. This is a good 1 mark question. Can the concentration of reactant zero after a long time? Answer is, in most of the reaction it is not zero, it continues to decrease. The rate of reaction initially very fast, later on it goes slow down, and therefore these two curve will not touch with each other, and concentration of reactant cannot be zero even at infinite time for most of the chemical reaction. In most of the chemical reaction we get this type of curve. It is a curve between time and concentration of reactant. Now suppose you need to calculate average rate of reaction in between 10 minutes and 15 minutes. Then you need to plot parallel at 10 minutes and 15 minutes in this curve. Connect them on y-axis, which shows concentration of reactant like this. Now this is change in concentration and this is change in time. Let it is A, it is B. Change in concentration upon change in time will be rate of reaction. I repeat, for 10 and 15 minutes we need to calculate average rate of reaction in between 10 minutes and 15 minutes. We will plot parallel at 10 minute and 15 minute. This is change in time, which is 5 here. Connect them on y-axis. This is change in concentration. Now with the help of formula change in concentration upon change in time, we can get average rate of reaction between 10 to 15 minutes. Now this is a plot between concentration of reactant and time. Similarly, we can plot a curve between concentration of product and concentration of time also. Now product continuously increase. Generally initial concentration of product is zero because we start a reaction with reactant and which later on convert into product. So its initial concentration is zero. its concentration increase gradually with time, and therefore when we plot a curve we get this type of curve for product and time. Once again, to calculate average rate of reaction, let this time in between 5 to 10 minutes we need to calculate average rate of reaction. Once again, 5 and 10, so we will plot parallel at 5 minutes and at 10 minutes and connect them on y-axis. Now once again, this is change in concentration, let it is A. This is change in time, this is B, and R is A upon B. In this way we can calculate average rate of reaction. Now calculation or determination of instantaneous rate of reaction. Instantaneous means the rate of reaction at a particular time moment. To calculate instantaneous rate of reaction, the first step is same. Once again we plotted a curve between concentration of reactant and time. Similar type of curve we observed here, and these are time, let it is 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. We need to find out, suppose we need to find out instantaneous rate of reaction at 5 minutes. So at 5 minutes we will plot a tangent here, and the slope of the tangent will indicate instantaneous rate of reaction. So in this way we will plot a tangent at 5 minutes like this. Now this is let A and this is B. Once again, A upon B equals to rate of reaction. This time it is instantaneous rate of reaction. I repeat, we plotted a tangent at 5. You know the formula of tangent, it is height upon base. So we use the same formula, height upon base, and this gives us instantaneous rate of reaction. Same goes with respect to product also. With respect to product, once again we plotted a curve between concentration of product and time. Let at this time we need to find out instantaneous rate. So at this point we will plot a tangent, and once again slope of this tangent will give us rate of reaction. Like this we will plot, and this is height, let it is once again A, this is its base, it is B. A divided by B will be instantaneous rate of reaction. I hope you know that if I increase the length of this y restricted here, it will not make any difference. If I increase the length of this slope, then it will not make any difference, because with the same proportion of A, the value of B will also increase. So it is the slope which you need to find out. It is height upon base, A upon B. This is instantaneous rate of reaction. Now the first possible question with respect to your exam starts here. It is rate of formation of a particular product and rate of disappearance of a reactant. Look at this reaction, it is nitrogen plus hydrogen convert into ammonia. So far we have discussed about reactant and product without balancing the reaction, but this time we are given a balanced chemical reaction. We know they will consume, their concentration will decrease, and their concentration, its concentration will increase. We also know because they are reactant, when I need to express rate of reaction, I can write minus for nitrogen, minus change in concentration of nitrogen upon change in time, minus change in concentration of hydrogen upon change in time, and here plus, because it is product, it will continuously increase. So far this is not the complete formula. The reason is, if you remember class 11th very first chapter, stoichiometric, when one particle of nitrogen react, in the same time of period 3 particles of hydrogen will react. I repeat, one particle of nitrogen react with 3 particles of hydrogen. It means the time period in which one particle of nitrogen consume the number of hydrogen particle consumed will be 3 times. It means this disappeared, this also disappeared, but hydrogen disappeared with 3 times more as compared to disappearance of nitrogen. I repeat, suppose in 1 second one particle disappear, in the same 1 second 3 particles of hydrogen will get disappeared. So rate of disappearing of hydrogen should be 3 times as compared to rate of disappearing of nitrogen. Same if you see here, if one particle of nitrogen consumed in 1 second, then 2 particles of ammonia will produced. It means the rate of formation of ammonia should be twice as compared to rate of disappearance of nitrogen. I repeat, rate of formation of ammonia should be 2 times as compared to rate of disappearance of nitrogen, because one particle of nitrogen gives 2 particles of ammonia in same time of period, and therefore they are right now the full formula, the right formula. To correct the formula, we need to divide all these 3 expression with respect to their stoichiometric coefficient. Here stoichiometric coefficient is 1, so no need to divide here, but hydrogen, the stoichiometric coefficient is 3. We divide this formula with 3 like this, 1 upon 3. We divide this by 2, and now this is the correct formula for rate of reaction. This is now rate of reaction with respect to nitrogen, hydrogen as well as ammonia, and they will give us clear picture, exact number for rate of reaction. Here it is suppose 1 upon 1, then this will be 3 upon 3, and here 2 upon 2. I repeat, 1 particle, 3 particle and 2 particle as per the balanced chemical equation. So here 1 upon 1, here 3 upon 3, and here 2 upon 2, and now it will give us the right answer for rate of reaction. Now very important point for examination point of view, this enclosed green box represent rate of reaction. But if I exclude this number, this stoichiometry number, then the remaining like this one is also known as rate of formation of ammonia. I repeat, this is excluding the stoichiometry coefficient is known as rate of formation of ammonia. Excluding stoichiometry coefficient, this is known as rate of disappearing of hydrogen, and here also this is the rate of disappearing of nitrogen. So including stoichiometry coefficient, it is rate of reaction, but excluding stoichiometry coefficient, it is either rate of formation or it is rate of disappearing, depending whether it is reactant or product. Conclusion is, if I write here formula for rate of formation of ammonia, this is rate of formation of ammonia, and here now you can write it is equals to 2R. Shift this 2 from right hand side to left hand side, and then you will get formula for rate of disappearing of ammonia. This is rate of disappearing of ammonia, and rate of disappearing ammonia is twice of R, so it is 2R. Similarly, rate of disappearing of, this is rate of formation of ammonia. Now rate of disappearing of nitrogen, this is rate of disappearing of nitrogen excluding stoichiometry coefficient, and here you can see rate of disappearing of nitrogen is equals to R. So this is equals to R. The rate of formation of ammonia is equals to twice of R, and rate of disappearing of hydrogen, this is rate of disappearing of hydrogen, it is equals to 3 times then rate of reaction. So here you can have some numerical, you can ask calculate rate of formation of a particular product or calculate rate of disappearing of a particular reactant. In such type of question, first calculate rate of reaction with the help of first, second or third formula, depending whether you are given the concentration of which reactant or product in the reaction. And once you calculated rate of reaction, then you can calculate rate of formation or rate of disappearing of particular product or reactant respectively. For example, here are numerical for us. In a reaction 2A plus B convert into 3C, if concentration of A reduced from, this is A, it means the concentration of reactant is given. Concentration of A reduced from 5 m, capital M means molarity, to 4 m in 10 minutes. Then calculate rate of formation of C and rate of disappearing of A and B. So my advice is, in such type of question, when you need to calculate rate of formation, rate of disappearing, first write the formula for rate of formation with respect to each and every reactant. So here I started rate of reaction equals to change in concentration of A upon change in time into 1 upon 2. This is stoichiometric coefficient. I divided this by 2. This complete, as you know now, it is rate of reaction, or it is equals to change in concentration of B upon change in time. There is no stoichiometric coefficient here, so this is rate of reaction with respect to B, and now this is rate of reaction with respect to C. Here I divided this by number 3. So you can calculate rate of reaction with first, second and third, all three formula, but in this question, because you are given concentration of A, so use this formula to get rate of reaction. Now as per this formula, it is change in concentration, means it is, as per formula, it is minus change in concentration, final concentration minus initial concentration, divided by change in time, it is 10 minutes. Answer is 1 upon, into 1 upon 2 as per the formula. So answer is 1 upon 10 into 1 by 2, or it is 1 upon 20. This is rate of reaction. You can further solve it, otherwise you can leave it as 1 upon 20. So 1 upon 2, it is from stoichiometric coefficient. This is its final concentration, this is its initial concentration, and you can calculate rate of reaction. Once you get the rate of reaction, now calculate the desired one. The first is rate of formation of C. Now this is here, this is rate of formation of C, and in this formula you can see rate of formation of C, which is dC upon dt, equals to 3R. So you know the value of R, it is 1 upon 20, and therefore it is 3 times of R. The unit will be, because it is molarity, so it is mole per liter, and the unit of time is given in minutes, so you can write here minutes. This is the unit for rate of reaction. The second part, rate of disappearance of A and B. Now this is rate of disappearance. Rate of disappearance, you can see in the formula, it is twice of R. So rate of disappearance, it is equals to twice of R. 2 into the value of R is 1 upon 20. Once again the same unit. And similarly, rate of disappearance of B. This is rate of disappearance of B. It is minus dB upon dt equals to, now here it is simply equals to R. It is equals to R, and the value of R is 1 upon 20. So in this way we can calculate the rate of reaction with respect to each and every reactant, as well as we can calculate overall rate of reaction if we are given concentration of any one particular reactant. Now last point in today's class, then we will continue in the next class. It is type of reaction. There are two classification in our syllabus. The first classification based on speed of the reaction, according to which there are three type of reaction. One is slow reaction, other is fast reaction, and third are moderate reaction. Slow reaction like rusting of iron, fast reaction like combustion of fuel, and moderate reaction, it is reaction between acids, base, hydrolysis of ester. Now out of these three, these are most important reaction for us, because these are very slow and very fast reaction. So when we do change in the conditions practically, it will not affect the rate of reaction much in slow reaction and fast reaction. Suppose you increase or decrease concentration of reactant, or you change the temperature, or you add catalyst, these type of reactions are affected negligibly. But here we can observe the change quickly with concentration, temperature, catalyst, and they are more important for us in practical observations. So three type of reactions: slow reactions, fast reaction, moderate reaction. These are important for us. Moderate reaction. Second classification, according to this classification, the reactions are divided in two categories. One is elementary reactions and other are complex reaction. Elementary reactions are those reactions which complete in single step. They are also known as single step reaction, like hydrogen plus iodine convert into Hi. The reaction complete in single step. It is known as elementary reaction. Complex reactions complete in 2 or more steps. I repeat, this type of reactions complete in 2 or more steps. One example, NO2 plus F2 convert into NO2F. Now this reaction, when you discuss its mechanism, this reaction complete in 2 steps. This is first step, this is its second step, and because this reaction complete in 2 steps, it is known as complex reaction. Some complex reaction you have studied in organic chemistry last year, like Markovnikov law, where addition of HBr, HCl, water to an alkene. You have discussed its mechanism. Step 1 addition of H plus, step 2 addition of water, then removal of H plus ion, and etc. So these are examples of complex reactions which complete in many steps, more in fact 2 or more steps. They are known as complex reaction. Each step of the complex reaction, this is also a question, 1 mark question, each step of the complex reaction are also known as elementary step of the reaction. So prepare it and wait for the next class, where we will start with the first new topic for us. This all you have discussed so far earlier, but we will start in next class with molecularity of reaction. So wait for the next class. Till that, stay safe and bye bye.